What up, though? What's this? Okay, so are your friends keeping you away from God? All right, so the friends that I used to have, I used to run with a group of guys, and we would chase women and do stuff guys do, and eventually we all got into it. One way or another, they betrayed me is what they did. And hey, Star, happy Sunday. And eventually they went their own way. I think they all got married. Actually, I'm the only one still single. They all got, they all got married. And, whatever's whatever. But the friends that I used to have did not encourage me to be around, godly friends. And I didn't encourage them to be around godly friends, even though, I was a man of God. I just wasn't living like it because, I like to chase women. I still do. I just don't. Women are, you can chase women all your life and never catch a good one. And that's just the facts. You can chase after them until the day you hit the grave and never succeed in a good relationship. Now, those guys, they all succeeded in, I don't know if it's good, but I know that they're all married. Well, two of them are married. And, I don't know about the other one. I don't know if he married the girl or not. She's a little off her rocker, but she's a good-looking woman, so, But I could have been married. I just chose the wrong women. I have a bad, not bad, but, I'm just not good at it. And I don't really care at this point. But what I'm trying to say is, are your friends keeping you away from, walking with the Lord? And I had to say, while I was chasing those girls, I wasn't thinking about walking with the Lord as much until the Lord started reeling me back in. He was like, hey, remember me? I was like, yeah, I remember you. He was like, hey, well, you better fix what you're doing because, you're going to come see me one day and you're going to have to explain this. And that has always been in the back of my mind that I'm going to pay for what I do. I'm not getting away with anything. And I've never thought, I'm going to get away with this. No, I've always had that in my head. And so when it really got to me, I was like, all right, Lord. Yeah, help a brother out. I found somebody that I really like. And yeah, I want to go ahead and get married. He was like, nope, not going to happen. You're not, okay. I find somebody else. He's like, Nick's not going to happen. I'm like, well, come on now. Like you're picking the wrong females. You knew that those women were going to have me in and out of court, send me to an early grave. He just knew that they were no good. They were never going to stay. And some of these women are not married today because that's how it were. And so I had to get away from those women too. Even friends who were women, if they had that spirit about them, I had to separate myself from them. Because you got some cool females out there who are as promiscuous as guys. And they're beautiful. They got nice bodies and everything. Even at my age, they're just good-looking women. So it's nothing for them to get a man in bed. But I think nothing of it. When you can't hang around those people if you're trying to, do what the Lord wants. So God cut them off from me too. Like, you know, and and then there was none. Like I have no friends at all, at all, uh, because of the way, because of the spirit that I had, and I've been chasing girls all my life ever since I knew what one was. I've been chasing them, so I had to stop actively going after these females and trying to jump in bed with them and just be by myself. Now that's hard because every morning I'm wishing that I had one of my little chicks around so I can do what I used to do, but none of them want to talk to me. They don't even want to see my face. They don't even say hello to me. And some of them know me on Facebook. They don't talk to me at all. There's no communication whatsoever. They are not coming to see me. There's nothing. There's nothing at all. And it used to piss me off, especially when I was younger and, I had a rotation of females. All of a sudden, all of it stopped. And I knew it was an act of God. I knew it. I was like 32, 33 years old. And I had a heavy rotation of females who all knew about each other and didn't care because they had other guys. And, one day I woke up and I thought my phone got cut off because I was so used to these females calling me and coming over and doing whatever and then leaving. And, I looked at my phone and I was going, I ain't got no phone calls today. Then the next day and the next day and the next day. And I was like, something's wrong here. Like, what happened? And, I get to talk to these chicks and they'd be like, we don't want to talk to you. And although they knew of each other, they didn't all know each other. So when all of them cut me off and they didn't all even live in the same city, I was like, okay, this is the Lord telling me something. Because there's no way all these women got together and coordinated some type of march. Hey, good morning. Morning, bro. It's coming. What's coming? Oh, how's it going? It's going fine. It's going fine. So there's no way all these females knew about each other and then just coordinated a walkout on Tone's life. But that's exactly what happened. And it happened instantaneously, simultaneously. And I was like, wow. So I had to practice, just being by myself, and I started getting into other things, I wrote a little book, eventually I finished my degree. And I just started to get a lot of stuff done that I wanted to get done. I started writing more songs and stuff like that, making more music. And all of these things are benefiting me now. Well, my degree doesn't benefit me, but, I'm not using it. But nonetheless, and my book doesn't benefit me yet because I haven't finished the audio book. But nonetheless, I start doing more creative stuff. I start getting more things done instead of spending time or wasting time with females who, I knew and God knew that were not going to stay, even though I tried to make them stay. But for one, they didn't stay for a few reasons. One, they weren't right for me. Two, I was broke. I was broke. I didn't have any finances to keep a woman. So I didn't really blame them in the long run. In the short run, I was just like, why y'all do me like that? But in the long run, I was like, a woman nests. That's what she does. If you don't give her no incentive to nest, then she's going to leave and find somebody else to nest with. Now, in some cases, you can make a lot of money and that woman's still going to leave. That's just the way some women are. But if you don't even have an incentive for them to stay, other than being affectionate and, doing all that kind of thing, that stuff's not going to make a woman stay. It'll make her come and go, but it will not make her stay. So I didn't have any money. And that's one thing. So, I had to change that. I had to go out and do things to help myself, bring in some finances to make some kind of living arrangements to where a woman wouldn't worry about, are we about to get evicted or not? And I went and I did that. But I didn't do it. See, and another thing is, I did not do that for a woman. I did that because I'm a man and I'm matured. You can be 30 years old and not be mature. You still have to grow up. So I grew up, is what happened. I was like, I need to get it together. And then some events happened that were unfortunate to me, but the Lord helped me turn those events around. So I don't have a lot of money still, but I know if I need something, money right away, I know where I can go get it. You know what I mean? I have investments now instead of just money in the bank not doing anything. I have things that I'm invested in now. So I'm looking at money in the long and the short run. I have an IRA now. I have money in the stock market now. It won't kill me to spend $100 now and me go, oh my God, I just spent $100. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to break me. I'm still going to, and another thing, I'm cautious of what I do with my money. Like if I lose some money in a stock market, I automatically think, how can I get this money back? You know what I mean? I don't go, oh, I don't need that money. If I lose $1,000 in the stock market, I'm thinking, what stock is going to give me $1,000 back? And things along that. So I'm very money oriented, and I wasn't before. I really wasn't. I was really focused on, hips and thighs, breastises. That was my focus. That's what I was good at. But it brought me no money. It brought me no money. It brought me plenty of women, but they all just eventually peeled out and went somewhere else. So, like I said, I had to mature. But even the cool female friends that I had eventually went on their own way because we were all of that same like mind. We could just jump in bed with each other when we wanted. And that's not what God wanted from me. So, do I miss them? Yeah, because I'm human. Absolutely I miss them. I think about them every day. Like, damn, I wish I could make a phone call, but I can't make those phone calls anymore. And another thing is, I used to go to the clubs a lot. It's easy to find lonely people surrounded by a bunch of other people. It's just easy to do. You can go to the club and then be surrounded by people that you don't know. You don't want to see. You have nothing in common with them. And you're just standing there and you're like, I don't belong here. And you know what the word says? Come out from among them. But the reason why you go there is because you're lonely. And you're like, if I'm going to be lonely, I'm going to be lonely and look at, good looking women, you know what I'm saying? Good looking couples, see people who are happy together, get some laughs out of them. Because trust me, you go to a club, you're going to get a laugh out of people. So sometimes you find lonely people who really aren't really looking to hook up with anybody, but they're there because it's entertaining in some kind of way, So I've done that too. Just stand there and look at people and the way they dance, just get a kick out of laughing at them and stuff like that. And they know that they're entertaining you. And then you go home and you're like, that was cool. Did you hear about the black female attorney, Courtney Cox? He then had a shootout with the police. Oh, he also dead. She just met him this summer. This happened in Atlanta. So let me try to read that. I don't know where my glasses are. These aren't my best glasses. All right. Cox. He had a shootout. So who had the shootout? Was it a female? Was it a guy who had a female? Who had a female guy in a shootout with the police? Oh, he shot the woman. So her boyfriend shot her, and then he had a shootout with the police, and then they killed him. She did. Oh, okay. You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. I I was just thinking about Atlanta again because I want to move. This place is doing stuff that I don't like, and uh, besides the neighbors, now the neighbors' bugs are crawling over to my house. And I can't take it. I'm up every day, and there's bugs everywhere, and I'm trying to get rid of them. And that's because these neighbors over here, these damn neighbors, the guy had a shootout, yeah, with the police. And I'm up here, it's just ridiculous, and I can't take it anymore. I don't do the whole thing with bugs. I don't like it, and all kind of bugs too. We got hornets over here. You got roaches who are trying to come from their apartment to my apartment, and I'm hunting these bastards down and spraying them everywhere. I mean, I find them all over the place. I got to hunt for them every day to get rid of them. And we got freaking sometimes ants. It's just, I just need to find somewhere else to go. Nonetheless, so I thought about migrating back down south, down to Kennesaw. But I'm not going to do it. I'm probably just going to live the rest of my life here in Ohio. But I'm either thinking about renting a house or just going ahead and buying a house. I can get a decent loan. I don't have terrible credit, and I have a decent income, so I can afford, I don't know, $1,000, $1,200 a month, and it wouldn't kill me, plus my utilities. So I don't know, 16, 17 a month. I can afford that. Yeah. In all utilities and all, somewhere around 17, 18 a month. I can afford that. So I'm thinking about doing that. She was a very beautiful woman. Yeah. And I was thinking about going back down to Atlanta. Yeah, no, I did not hear about that story. But I've been saying it over and over. You women gotta watch who you choose. Look. There is red flags all the time when it comes to people. You can get a red flag just by the tattoo somebody wears. Yeah, it might be better for me to rent. I don't know, but I need some space. Plus, I need to be able to take my refrigerators and do what I want with them. Because I rent a storage space that costs me $200 a month. Now, of course, I'm making money off of that storage unit. If I sell one refrigerator, it covers more. It almost covers my rent twice. So one $400 refrigerator covers my rent twice. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still making money. It's just that if I can do that in a garage, I'm saving $200. But nonetheless, you ladies need to be careful, because there are, this is another video, but I'm saying it anyway because you're talking to me, Star. There are red flags all over the place when it comes to men. And I'm going to tell you some red flags when it comes to men. I'm going to do this in another video, but I'm just going to tell you some red flags when it comes to men. Because even men have to look out for it. One, the way they walk. You can tell by the way a man walks if he has ill intentions or not. Oh, everybody left? Okay, well, I'll finish the subject I was on. Everybody left. This is for people who are going to come back and listen. Nonetheless, so let me go back to this. So your friends that you choose may not be godly friends. And they may keep you away from succeeding in life and keep you away from succeeding in God. Uh, if you have friends like that, then you need to be aware that the friends that you're hanging around, if God tells you to get rid of those friends, get rid of them. He looked like a bum and a lowlife. Yes, I agree. These women need to choose very carefully. There are a lot of mental illness out there. Well, here's the thing about it. You think that the mental illness was on his part. It takes two to tangle. You think that the guy was mentally ill because of what he did. I think that you're mentally ill if you choose to be around people like that. I think something's wrong with you. If you choose to be around somebody who you know is toxic, who you know is very poisonous to you, and you think that's cute, then you're sick in the head. You know this person is a rebel rouser. You know this person can get your children shot. You know this. But you're attracted to it. You're sick. Yeah, you're sick too. I don't look at a woman who gets caught up into something and then think the woman's innocent. Oh, no. You choose who to spread your legs to. This isn't somebody who took advantage of you. You chose that person. And there are red flags all day when it comes to men. There are just things that you should not deal with when it comes to men. My friend can't keep me away from God, so he's over. And that's the way it should be. My life first. That's it. That's all. And that's the way it should be. But your friends can encourage you to do stuff that the Lord may not want you to do. And you don't even know that they're doing it. You don't know that your friends are doing that. Your friends may get around you and start talking about females. And just the way that they're talking about females is a very sexually suggestive locker room talk. Like guys do. Ooh, look at the thighs on, oh my goodness. Boy, she was a size this, that, everything to make you look at her body in a lustful manner. And you know that these are good people. But nonetheless, the spirit that's in them is revealing itself through their mouth. Or they may do something like, I can't stand my neighbor. I'm gonna slap the hell out of him. I'm telling you, gee, yo, let's go over there and let's just go over there and just, TP his car, or that spirit that's in him is talking, it's coming out. They can't stop you from being, serving the Lord. But there's spirits that are in them that you'll recognize that are not godly. You'll be like, we're going to do what to who? I think I'm going to set this one out. But you won't get rid of your friend. And you won't tell your friend, yo, that's the spirit you got, bro. You're not going to say anything because it'll sound corny. You're like, yo, bro, let me pray for you. You're not going to do that. You're not, because you don't want to lose a friend. Nonetheless, that spirit could get worse. That spirit can get worse in that person. True facts. But you have to have self-control, watching and seeing. Wait, listen. We're saying the same thing. We're saying the same thing. But your friends can. They don't know that they're doing it. But the spirit of discernment starts telling you what they're doing. Like, I used to have a friend who was a good-looking guy. I used to have a couple of them. But one guy's a good-looking guy. One day, him and I went out. We went out to this club to play pool. And this girl that had hit on me before in front of my girlfriend, I turned her down. light-skinned, beautiful girl. She was there, and we didn't even know. I didn't know she was going to be there, and I saw her, and I recognized her. She recognized me, and then her friends were eyeballing my buddy. And I mean, they made it known that, look, if he says, let's go in the car and get it on, it's going to happen. You know, because he's just a good-looking guy. He's a nice guy, good-looking guy. And, you know, when you hang around people like that, it's not their fault that they're good-looking. But they could have a sexual spirit about them that makes women want to, you know, take their clothes off and jump in bed with them. And if you're not careful, that can jump right on you. And you're like, how does this even happen? Because that's what spirits do. They go from one person to another. That's how they survive. You know what I mean? Now, I didn't stop hanging around him because of that. Eventually, he found one woman and he settled down with her, and, you know, and they went on about their way. But it's just something that I did notice about him. I'm like, you are regular, you know, you attract a lot of females, you know, in that kind of way, but he wasn't even sleeping with them. They were just a lot of attracted to him. And I had another buddy who was like that too. But this guy was a user. And I didn't know this, but somebody else had told me he was a user. And eventually he tried to, you know, run game on me. He lost a whole bunch of money. He lost his house, and then I was like, yo, you can stay with me till you get, you know, for a week or two to get on your feet. And just his whole attitude was like, I owed him that, and I'm like, yo, get out. Like I would let him use my truck once. He bring it back on E, like no gas in it, no, get out. Like you're a very unappreciative dude. Like I'm not. You know, you're going to move in with me, take all your clothes and just throw them in the middle of the living room. Like, no, I'm not having it. Like, get out. You know what I'm saying? So I got rid of him because he was a user. You know what I mean? But it's just some spirits you can see in some people you start hanging around. You're just like, no, you're not right. And I don't want that spirit on me. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. You know, there are just different spirits that run in different people. And when you get around them, you see it. And it's not that the person's bad. It's just that the spirit is bad and it needs to be rebuked if you're going to still hang around that person. And if you're not careful, it's going to jump on you. And if it does, you're going to find yourself saying what they say. If they speak in a certain way, you're going to start speaking that way. If they start, you know, doing this and that, you're going to start doing this and that. And you're going to be like, I don't even act like this. It's like if they're gangsters and they're throwing up gang signs, next thing you know, you're like, oh, that's cool. Guess what? That spirit is jumping on you. And you start seeing the legitimacy in it. Oh, yeah, I could see myself going around and doing this, that, and the third. Yeah, it's jumping on you. If you're somebody who doesn't sleep around and all of a sudden you think you need 4 or 5 partners, yep. If you don't curse and all that other stuff, next thing you know, MFR just comes flying out your mouth. You know, because you're watching a football game and all of a sudden you get excited. And then that MFR missed the whole play and you don't curse. Well, guess what? Guess where that came from? One of your buddies. And you're thinking, there's nothing wrong with this guy cursing. Well, eventually you're going to start cursing. And that spirit jumps right on you. Don't forget, these spirits, they're not by themselves. These spirits run in packs. That's why they're called legion, because there's a bunch of them. You know what I'm saying? So where you see one, trust me, they're like bugs. You see one, trust me, there's 1,000 more. And that's why it's so dangerous to hang around people who are not equally yoked to you. You know what I mean? And what's even worse, if they're not seeking God, if they're not a praying person, if they're not somebody who is trying to get rid of whatever's wrong with them, and or if you recognize something that's wrong with them, and you say something to them, and then they get offended by it, instead of trying to fix whatever the problem is, then you have a problem still, because they're just going to rebuke you. They're going to be like, nah, I'm gonna keep, talking about this woman's, booty. I'm gonna keep doing it because, this is what I do. And you're like, well, I don't want to think about everywhere I go. You looking at every girl's derriere. Like, I just wanted to hang out with you and watch the game or something like that. Well, nah, that's not what this person's about. Hold on a second. So just things to think about. Yeah, your friends can slow down your relationship with the Lord. You could next thing you know, you want to go partying. You start listening to secular music. You want to all of a sudden your favorite song on the radio is by someone has nothing to do with Christ. You're like, oh, that song by Cardi B, WAP, that's a real good song. Just like, you're the most Christian of all Christians. You go to church 4 times a week. You live at the church practically. And all of a sudden, Cardi B's WAP, saying you're a wife and a mother of 3 daughters. One of them in their teens, and you're playing WAP in your house. Well, guess what's going to happen? That little teen girl, she's going to start listening to WAP. It's going to jump right on her. The ratchetness begins. So, and if you got a son, and he's listening to all of these young Chicago rappers and just any rapper, just about, and they're not talking about nothing except death. These little these boys out of Florida constantly talking death, and just death. Your little boy is gonna start talking about death. He's gonna speak death into the house. It's gonna be instant too. You're like, why is my 4-year-old running around acting like he's got a Glock in his hand? Why does my 4-year-old know what a Glock is? Why does my 4-year-old quote Spot 'em got 'em? Yeah. Why is that his favorite song on the radio? Because you allowed that to come into your house. Now your little boy knows who Spot 'em got 'em is. And he wants to wear his hair like his. He wants to watch all of his videos. He wants to, call women out their name. He wants to ride around in stolen cars. And these rappers who speak this death, the next thing you know, they start, coming close to death. Spot 'em got 'em just got into a shootout. People shot up his car, or the car he was in. Turns around, it was a stolen car. They shut that joint up. Because you speak that death, it's coming for you. Death is a spirit, and it's not dormant. This is not a spirit that just sits by and just watches everything and just, oh, that's cute. No, when you start speaking death, death hears you, and it comes for what's his. It will come for what's his. All of these spirits will. They'll come for you. Next thing you know, you got violence all around your house. Your house is getting shot up. You listening to these peoples who live these horrible, violent lives. Their grandmothers getting killed by these people. I mean, these young gunners. There's no holds barred for them. I mean, they will wait. They would go and knock on the door, wait until your auntie answers the door, and shoot through the little peephole. Just shoot right through it. Bang! This actually just happened. Just go look at Honeycomb Breezy. Just go look at some of these rappers, and these are the people you're letting into your house. So yeah, your friends Your friend, listen. If your friends are banging this music and you think nothing of it, and you get into their car and you're constantly, yeah, bro, I'll ride with you. Or when they get into your car, they're constantly playing that music, bro, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. And when bad starts happening to you, don't go, Lord, well, why did this happen? No, it happened because these musicians are speaking constant death. Constant. And eventually somebody heard you. And that's just that. And you're that spirit in you. That spirit's coming right out of your TV, right out of your radio, right out of your telephone, and it's going right into your body, and it's sitting there, and you don't even know that it's there because you think that music is innocent because it's the hit song. This is why the music that's coming out of Cardi B's mouth is so dangerous. It's dangerous. It screams single mother. It screams get pregnant at a young age. It screams it. Get pregnant at a young age. Don't care who the father is. Be promiscuous. Complete breakdown of the nuclear family in black homes. It screams going to the clinic, being sick. It screams death to any femininity that a female has. It screams the males should not look at the females as a female. They should look at them as pure objects. That's what WAP does. WAP does not uplift the woman, doesn't make her powerful. WAP looks at a woman as an object. You objectify the woman. She has one purpose. That's it. And once you get what you want, you have no allegiance to her. That's what WAP is telling you. And they're saying it in the song. You really listen to those words. Broke boys don't deserve no kitty. Since when? Wait, what? That's how you look at yourself as kitty? You are one organ. Your whole body consists of your one organ. That's what you are. I'm trying to tell you, these Jews have suckered us and bamboozled us in the music industry into making our women think it's okay to get out here and talk this filthy, trashy, single woman nonsense. And the more you bump it in your car and in your house, the more you accept it, the more those spirits are running around in your house. And if you do not defend your house, then those spirits are coming for whatever is in your house, including you. And I know this. I used to be an avid porn watcher. You know what I'm saying? Avid. Because that was my life. I lived a highly sexual life. So I love smashing. So I would look at ways to smash. You know what I mean? And you think you're not addicted until you try to stop. You think, oh, that's not me. I'm not addicted. Well, try to stop. Try to pray against it. Try to start reading your Bible. Try to spend more time in prayer and see how hard it is. You're addicted, which means that you have a spirit of whatever it is. If you're a smoker and somebody tells you, oh, that's bad for you, you're just like, so what? You're going to die of cancer. So what? And then you finally start coughing and start feeling terrible. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to stop this. Well, you have the physical side that's trying to keep you addicted to it. And then after years, you don't stop doing it. You still have to have something to go like this. You're still doing it. You're addicted. It's a spirit. It's not so much the nicotine anymore. That's been out of your system. You're addicted to it. So now it's a spiritual thing. And you got to clean that out or you're going to go right back to smoking. You're going to go right back to watching porn all day, you're going to go right back to fighting. You're going to go right back to shooting. You're going to go back to these things because that's what the spirit does. I'm going to open my window. That's what the spirit does. That's what these spirits do. They're constantly on you to keep doing whatever it is that feeds them, because a spirit is a living, breathing entity. It is alive just as well as you are. And this spirit has been alive for centuries, millennia, doing the same thing. When my mother passed away, I knew it the second she died. And I was in my house. I was at my house. She died of pancreatic cancer. And I had a bad dream. I like the song, but I'm going to change it. I had a bad dream. So I was in the dream. It was like a flash dream, too. It was really fast. So in the dream, I had seen her in a basement, and all of a sudden, I had opened the basement door, and I seen her coming at me, and she jumped like 5-6 stairs at a time, and then hit me in the head, like real hard with something. And then probably within an hour of that, I got a phone call, and my aunt said, "Your mother just died." So it was a spirit that was leaving her body, and I was trying to come into my body. See how that works? It's a generational spirit. It was a generational spirit trying to get into my body. So, trust me, these spirits are alive, and they're watching you. They're listening to us. They're very, very, very real. They're constantly talking to you. They're giving you visions. And some of these spirits, I'm going to tell you something else about these spirits. These spirits will kill you. Some people who get into these mysterious car wrecks, a spirit killed them. And I'm going to tell you how it did it. If you're driving along and have you ever seen these car accidents where people are just not paying attention and they go through a red light? That's a spirit. When you find out there was nothing wrong with them and there was nothing wrong with their car, it isn't like they had an epileptic, a seizure or something like that. They just wasn't paying attention. That's what the spirits do. They give you imaginations and visions that are so strong that you are blinded. That's why it says sin blinds you. So you'll just be driving, but your mind will be somewhere else. And next thing you know, there's a red light and you fly right through it and then bang. That's because there was a spirit talking to you the whole time, and that spirit was giving you visions and visions and visions. And the reason why the spirit's giving you visions, because there was something that you did before you got into your car that allowed that spirit into your body to give you those visions. And it could be masturbation. Masturbation is one way spirits give you, when they talk to you and they're giving you visions. That's why it says, do not indulge in vain imaginations. A lot of masturbation comes from vain imaginations. You're imagining something that isn't there. Well, guess who's giving you the imagination? Yeah. Plus, they give you visions of your past. And there are a lot of us that are guilty of this. You know what I mean? We're guilty of just vain imaginations, period. It doesn't have to be masturbation. You could be sitting there and daydreaming. Yeah. Yeah, it's a spirit. You're sitting there, or you're fantasizing about something. It doesn't have to be sexual. It could just be violent, or it could be fantasizing about being somewhere. You're getting those visions from something. And if you keep on doing that, keep fantasizing it, keep entertaining, especially if you're speaking out loud to it, ooh, it'd be real nice to be in Tahiti. Wonder what Tahiti's like, and blah, blah, blah. You get into the imagination and this is what I would do, and blah, blah. And you keep that up, next thing you know, it's going to become more surreal to you. Boom. It's going to keep happening. And you could be walking along one day and not be paying attention. Boom. You're not paying attention, step right out in the middle of the road. You're not paying attention, fall right over on something. That's how spirits kill people. They blind them. They blind you to what's right in front of you. And a lot of times it's in a moving vehicle. And that's how they kill you. This is why it's important to get up and pray. You get up, this is also why it's important to get up and read the Bible. Because when you start reading the Bible, that spirit can't lie to you and tell you what's in front of you as far as the word. The word is a living word. It's a living word. It's a spiritual book. So the spirit that is of the word, the holiness of the spirit is competing with the spirit that's behind your eyes and telling you these visions and these lies, and you'll start feeling it. You'll actually feel the spirit withdrawal. I'm telling you, it's sitting right behind your eyes. It's sitting right on top of your head and telling you all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. But when you start reading the word, that spirit is combating to what you're being told. In your imaginations about, doing whatever. It could be something just as innocent as, I want to go bike riding. I want to go bike riding and I'm going to hit, Old Man's Trail. And blah, blah, blah. Your mind is just gone. You're on Old Man's Trail and you got all this that you're looking forward to and all this, stuff going on. You're imagining it. You're envisioning it. You're all excited, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you're driving while you're doing all those imaginations and envisioning it, well, your mind is not all the way concentrated on the road. Next thing you know, boom, you get into a fender bender. And you're going to go, I have no idea how that happened. I do. You were imagining something, and there was someone helping you imagine it. Took your mind off the road. Listen, a lot of people say, I don't know where my mind was. Well, it was in the hands of a spirit. That's why you got to pray when you get into your car. You got to pray for other people when you get into your car. I'm telling you right now, you got to pray that the angels protect you when you get into your car. Father God, let the angels protect me on my way, protect my trip, protect everyone who is around me, Father God. If you don't do that, you are more susceptible of getting into a car accident. I'm just letting you know now. A lot of the things that you're watching and listening to, these spirits are into these, the things that you're doing, and they'll take your mind right off the road. And you'll be like, oh, there's nobody here. I'm telling you, there's somebody there. Hold on a second. It's very dangerous. Very dangerous. Another thing, movies that you watch, especially if you mess around on Netflix, be careful because Netflix has a lot of programs that you should not watch. A lot of them. Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Yeah, so Netflix has a lot of programs that you should not watch. I'm telling you right now, don't watch these shows. There's a whole list. There's a whole list of them, and I was like checking out some of these series, like because I like to watch series. I had to stop watching them. One of them was it's kind of an offshoot of Batman. It's all about Batman's butler. Cheeseburger. What about it? Is that a show? But one of Batman's Batman's butler. They did a show about him or a series about him when he was younger, because he's an ISS soldier, yada yada yada. I forgot what it's called, but nonetheless, it got to where they brought in Aleister Crowley, and I was like, okay, I recognize Aleister Crowley's name, and they were showing a young Aleister Crowley. Well, they just happened to go to Aleister Crowley's house, and Bruce Wayne's grandfather, is right. Well, they go into that, and then they show, and then Bruce Wayne's grandfather doesn't believe in those spirits and stuff until Aleister Crowley shows him a movie, and I was like, oh, we're not doing this. And then they had a whole being with like 4 eyes. And I was like, that's it for me. That was it. Once I saw that, I was like, nah. And they showed Aleister Crowley using his powers. I was like, oh no, we're not doing that. I never watched that again. Never. They also have the Doom Patrol. And this really hurt me, because I love superhero stuff, right? But the Doom Patrol took it to a whole different level. The Doom Patrol brought in Baphomet. When I saw that horse's head singing, I was like, nope, I'm not about to endure Baphomet. I don't want that spirit in my house. I had to cut it out. Listen, and another thing, a lot of these shows on Netflix has homosexuality all in it. And it's trying to make it seem like, oh, it's okay. Well, if you're somebody that does not believe that it's okay, then you don't want to watch these shows. And the Doom Patrol has a character in it who is a homosexual, and it shows men kissing and all that. I'm sorry, that's just not, that's what you want to do. You do that, but that's not in my house. And that's another thing, like I said, about your friends. Like, I used to have a lady I was dating, and she thought that was okay. And she wanted to watch a show. I think the show was some, what was that, Glee or something like that. And I know that Glee was pushing homosexuality. And she was a teacher. So she's like, yeah, the show's okay. Let's watch this. And I was like, at my house. I was like, no, we're not watching. She's like, not in your house. I was like, no, you're not watching that in my house. You are not bringing that in here. If that's what you want to do in your house, that's fine. I told her point blank, I'm not watching that. You're not watching Glee in my house. No, not now, not ever. Ever. We're not doing that. If that's what you want to do in your house, that's fine. But I'm the guardian of this house. Modern cartoons have more occult garbage than adults. So, yeah, it's terrible. You guys got to be careful. Look, I'm going to tell you something. You can't sit down and watch that stuff and be offended in your own house and then let it go because your friend is there. I don't care what he or she looks like. I don't care. Look, you got to tell them, listen, I don't watch this. I'm not watching this. I'm just not. I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry, I'm not going to listen to this. And listen, they're going to get offended. They're going to, why? And you're going to be like, well, because I don't want to. And if they try to push the whole why conversation, well, listen, why don't, you go to wherever you dwell at, do that, but I don't need to explain why. Because they want to get into a whole debate with you. And it's not, there's no debate. It's, I don't do this. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't rebel rouse. I don't rob people. You know what I'm saying? I don't do it. I don't flash money. I don't do these things. Well, I might flash a couple dimes or something. I will flash a dime that I found. I'll do that, especially when I find them. I'll be like, oh, I found a dime. I'll flash that. But, I don't do these things. So when you get around people who do these things, you're like, I don't do this. It's dangerous to stay around them because they're going to attract what they put out. So be careful of some of these shows. Netflix is very dangerous. Like the person said, a lot of the cartoons, like I was watching this one cartoon, The Princess something. The Prince's something. It was a good cartoon. I was into it because I like elves. I like the whole fact that elves are super strong, super fast. I like that whole thing. And it was humans fighting against elves. I was like, okay, kind of a Lord of the Ring type thing. And, I'm all about that. So I'm watching it, and this human woman falls in love with an elven woman. It just why did we need to do that? Why? So we can be all inclusive? So why don't you just have a trans or a pan or I know not everybody wants to endure that. Like, I'm not gonna support that. I don't hate on them, but I don't support them. You're not going to get my money if this is what you want to do. So be careful of a lot of stuff that you allow in your house, especially if your kids are watching it. Oh my God, they are after your children. They are after your children. Your children, listen, children are the highest commodity in the whole world. They are after your children. Why do you think so many children are gone missing? I mean, they're just snatching your kids off the street. Little Booty was on World Star because his 3-year-old got taken. 3-year-old son, his 3-year-old son just got taken. I think it's his son. I don't know whose son. I know he was on there talking about it. And it's real out here. It's real. Your kids are oh my God. They are a high value target for so many reasons. For so many reasons. Listen, a lot of times you think that you think that these kids are being snatched up because people want to, have sexual relations to them. You don't understand. A lot of science that we know today, and a lot of the way things, and not even science, just research, was done on children. Or why do children eat this? What will happen if a children ate this, or if a child ate this? Well, a lot of that research by Kellogg and a lot of those people a long time ago, yeah, they were doing it on children, and it was not good. They were poisoning some of these kids with some of the stuff they ate. Listen, they used to make cereal bland because they wanted it had some type of sexual connotation to it. That's why cornflakes were at first bland, because it's weird. Just read the story on Kellogg, the one who made Kellogg. It's just weird. Like, what, you weirdo? Like, where did you get this from? I'm telling you. It's not only for some sexual deviant. They are cutting these children open and and seeing how long it takes before they die. I mean, you had one experience. This Japanese uh, general or whatever he was taking his slaves, and he would take them and bury them alive just to see how long they would survive. He would. I mean, they used to do. They used to do experiments on women and not give them any anesthetic and just cut babies out of them and listen, that practice is still going on today in Africa. They have the whole thing where they do stuff to women's genital areas, and it's a regular practice. They don't give them anything to. I'm trying to tell you, it's a dangerous world out there. They're not that. Listen. They're snatching up teenagers left and right, boys and girls, left and right, left and. Why do you think all this destabilization of these countries are happening? Because that's what they're doing, and they're experimenting on them. That's what they're doing. And then once they die, listen, they're taking dead bodies of COVID patients and turning it into fertilizer and fertilizing our food. Don't believe me? Look it up. Kid you not. Look it up. It's bad out here, what they're doing. And any age can get it. A lot of times when you have missing adults, missing healthy adults, well, the reason why they're missing healthy adults is because of the black market. Yeah, there's money into the black market. You got some good kidneys. You know how much a kidney goes for? Kidneys. A good heart. Listen, you got to stay prayed. You got to stay prayed up. You got to pray for your whole family. You got to pray for your whole family because everything in you is valuable. You may think that it isn't, but you may think that nobody wants you or you're not good for anything. Trust me, there's somebody looking at you and they're going, yeah, if I had whatever it is they think that you got, and you know how they know what you have? Your medical reports. See, you think that HIPAA law protects your medical information. Yeah. You think that the HIPAA law protects your medical information. That's what you think. You're convinced that nobody knows about what little ailment that you have. You think that's what you think. But I'm telling you right now that there are more people who know about you than you would ever believe. And they know everything about you. They know the medicines you take. They know your eating habits, your sleeping habits. They have chronologized your whole life. And if they wanted to snatch you, they would. They watch your whole life. Yeah. And they're just like, you know what? Mrs. So-and-so is 35-year-old female, black female. And she goes to the gym 3 times a week. She eats super healthy. Yeah, we like that. We like that. We want to do a test on her. So guess what they do? The police stop you in traffic, pull you over, ask you some questions, then ask you to get out the car. You're just like, why? But you have to comply. And then once you get out the car, they put you in handcuffs. Then they illegally search you. Then they illegally search your car. And then they put you in the back of their car. And then they take you to a hospital. And when you get to the hospital, they strip search you. And then they take your blood. And they examine your everything. Everything. They examine your everything. Even your brain waves, your sleeping habits, everything. They examine everything there is to know about you. and then they let you go. This actually did happen to a black woman. And they said that they stopped her because she was driving a BMW. And they were asking her, is the BMW hers? And so they said, she must be sick. She must have a mental illness. So they took her to a hospital, stripped her down naked, and examined and probed her and all this other stuff and took all this information from her. Then they let her go. They were after her blood. She's a 30-something-year-old healthy female. They were after her blood. Why? Why were they after this black woman's blood? Why did they do that to her and then let her go? They're doing research on her. She's a statistic. She wasn't sick. This wasn't a woman who was barely able to move. She wasn't coughing and wheezing and all that stuff. She's a healthy female. They were running tests on her. So I'm saying, you think that you're not valuable, but you are very, very, very valuable. Look what happened to that young man that they found out in the desert, or that young man that they found in the gym. And one guy was in his 20s, and then they just did that same thing to another black man. He was in college. That's what they're doing. They're running tests on you because your blood is valuable. Your skin is valuable. Melanin is valuable. Just your complexion alone is valuable because it's an automatic sunblock. And that's one thing that is killing Caucasians. Melanoma, cancer. It's killing them. They can't defend against it unless they come out with sunblock, wearing sunblock. So melanin is something that they want, but they don't want because they don't want to look black, but they want the defense against the sun. Yeah, it's deep for them. They're trying to figure out how to do this. So what do? They go and get tanned. This way they could look black without being black and hopefully still have the same protection, but they don't because tanning is dangerous. Yet it's something that they can't get away from. You want to be pure white, but nonetheless, you want the defense that dark-skinned, melanated people have. You want our automatic defense. We get power from the sun. It makes us stronger. It also does something with electricity, we're able to conduct electricity because of melanin. Melanin is actually a conductor of electricity. There are scientists experienced where they have taken melanin or a facsimile of melanin and did this whole thing with it. And it's very interesting. What's just in your skin. I'm trying to tell you that these people are after you. They're not just after your kids. You're thinking, these are just a bunch of perverts running around. Nope. They're a bunch of scientists. And they're perverts too. But it's, like I said, it's not all just to, type of sexual relationship. No. They're cutting your kids open and finding out what makes them tick. They're doing all kind of experiments on them. Look. I'm going to tell you something that, okay. Track and field. When you look at track and field, you don't think nothing of it. You're just like, somebody can run fast. Somebody can throw this stronger. Somebody can do this, that, and the other. But what track and field really is a science experiment. They are really lab rats. And I'm going to tell you why. The fastest man on the planet is Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt has been fast since he was 14. Listen. And they asked Usain Bolt, why is he so fast? They asked him this. And he said, probably because I eat yams. Probably, they said, why are the people in your country so fat? And he said, because of the food that we eat. You think scientists didn't recognize it? Listen, when Jesse Owens beat the Germans, Hitler was pissed because Hitler thought that his Germans were superior in everything. And Jesse Owens cleaned their clock. You think that didn't piss them off? Absolutely pissed them off. Track and field is a science experiment. They want to know how you can run so fast. They want to know what makes a person stronger than the other person. And they want to take this information, try to synthesize it, duplicate it, and put it into their soldiers. Now just think if you had 2 million soldiers that could run at, they could run 109.58 seconds. How superior would your army be? You think they're not studying this? Absolutely, they're studying it. And here's the thing about Usain Bolt. Here's the thing. Usain Bolt wasn't even interested in running track until his coach told him, go ahead and run track. He was interested in cricket. Another thing about Usain Bolt, even though he gave his heart to track, that wasn't really where his heart was. He just kind of fell into it. He's just like, okay, I'm fast. I'll go ahead and do this. And of course, he made a lot of money doing it. But he's never been tested positive for a drug. Now, if you get deeper into that and you look at some of the people who were tested positive, a lot of the people who were tested positive, as a matter of fact, every other person that has broken a record in the 100 within the last 10 years that have broken a record, besides one person that I know of, have all been tested positive for drugs. All of them. Every single one of them except Usain Bolt. Go and look it up. Go and look it up. If you ran a 9.7 anything, they looked at you and going, look at Coleman right now. Coleman has dodged 3 tests. 3 tests. That's why he wasn't running in the Olympics. 3 tests. You dodged. Look at Tyson Gay. He ran like a 9.7 something. They was like, nope. He was disqualified twice for using drugs. Twice. You can go all the way back to 1998 when that guy from Canada, well, he won the Olympics, ran a 9.8 something, 9.85. Boom. Nope. It was a lie. You used drugs. Marion Jones, boom. You used drugs. I'm trying to tell you, they have tested Usain Bolt constantly and found nothing. Nothing. You think that they don't envy that? They've been trying to make soldiers stronger and faster ever since they could, because they know the power of a superior army, especially when it comes to hand-to-hand. I was a soldier, trust me, I know. The stuff they put you through in basic training, yeah, they're trying to find out how fast you are. And listen, when I was in basic training, I came into basic training running a 11-minute mile. Matter of fact, I ran faster than that. So when they found out that I could run, they pitted me up against other people that could run. And one guy was in my unit, was a white dude. And what they did was they started to favor us. And they started to test me and him. And they started to favor the people who could run the 2-mile fast. So one day they had a competition, and the captain came out and said, Whichever one of you wins, I'll take you to dinner. Now, that may not sound like a big deal to you, going to dinner with the captain, but it is a big deal because if the captain recognizes you, then the chain of command recognizes you, then anybody lower and above him can recognize you. It gets deep. It gets deep. So if the captain recognizes you, the drill sergeants recognize you. The drill sergeants will take it easy on you because they want you to be able to do what? Impress the captain. Because the captain is who's very important. And I'm telling you, that's the way it went. Now, when me and him did run, I lost. He ran a 10 something and I ran right about 11 something. I lost the race. I didn't lose by much, but he beat me. And that was okay because they still favored me. Now check it. When I went to my unit, to my permanent unit in Germany, they saw the same thing. And when they saw that I could run, I was a cook. So cooks have two shifts. We have the morning and afternoon shift. The morning shift is the most crucial. And I was feeding like 1,000 soldiers. You know, this is my kitchen. We were feeding like 1,000 soldiers all come through. And it's just so crucial. Everybody's got to be on hand to make sure breakfast gets out. It is a big deal. My E7 walks in the door and says, "Pal, tomorrow morning you will be running in the hash house race." That was it, and that's all. And everybody who was on that shift had a beef with that. And they couldn't say nothing to me, and I didn't say nothing. They couldn't say nothing to my E7 because the orders from my E7 didn't come from him. He didn't make that up. The general saw me running, and he saw that I would enter in the hash house races, and I won like 5 of them straight. I kept winning. And all of these big brass were out there. I didn't even know who they were. I didn't care. All I wanted to do was run. So I'm running and I'm winning these races, and the brass is seeing me. The colonel saw me, and when the colonel saw me, the big bird saw me. The big 2-star general saw me, and he came out and they ran. And then when they had another hash house, they told my E7, period, dot, we want this guy out here. See, they test you. And when you have some type of standout physical prowess, they're very, very, very interested in you. They want to know how you're doing it. Now, they didn't do that because they love me. They did that because they wanted to know how I was doing it. The hash house race is a distant game race. It's not just distance. It's an actual game. And I would figure it out and beat them. And they wanted to know how I was doing it without asking me. You know what I'm saying? For one, you had to be in shape to do it because you're going to get tired real quick. And for two, you have to be able to run more than anyone else and faster than anyone else. Okay, so without telling you, I don't even know if you guys want to know how a hash house race goes, but nonetheless, I'll skip it. So, but what I'm trying to tell you is they were testing me, and my unit couldn't do nothing about it. So when I look at the Olympics, that's exactly what I'm looking at. I'm looking at lab rats because what they're doing is they're going, okay, look at now what the females have done. Shericka Jackson just ran into the 10 sixes. We had 4 women run in the 10 sixes in 1 year. Wait a minute. Let's back this up. 4 women ran times in the 10 sixes. 4 black women. 4 black women. Blessing Okabari, Shericka Jackson, Sha'Carri Richardson. As a matter of fact, 5. Jamaican girls dominate the Olympics. Oh yeah. Blessing Okabari, she's African. Shericka Jackson, Jamaican. Shelly Ann Fraser Price, Jamaican. and I forgot her name, but she actually won. She ran in the almost 1050 something. And then you had Shakari Richardson, but hers was wind aided. So you had four legal run a 10.6 all in 1 year. Unheard of. Unheard of. And automatically they're going to be like, how did they do it? And they've been studying Black people for the longest time. Because Black people, when it comes to sprinting, are superior to everyone on the planet. And when it comes to long distance racing, there's no one who can beat us in long distance racing. No one. If you look at the 5,000, the 10,000, the half marathon, the marathon, no one can beat us. The only thing they can beat us in when it comes to long distance racing on foot is the Ironman. That's it. The Ironman. Black people do not win the Ironman. We're not interested. You'll hardly see a Black person in the Ironman. Why is that? The marathon. Why is it? Because of melanin? Well, yes. Yes and no. It's because of red twitch muscles. There are two types of twitch muscles in your body. One is white, one is red. The red is faster than the white. You have slow twitch muscles, you have fast twitch muscles. So we have a higher amount of fast twitch muscles in our bodies. We just do. And another thing is the conditions that we run under. So most Africans are the fastest people on the planet are Africans because they live in hotter regions. So when you live in hotter regions, everything is constantly moving fast. Everything is more competitive because there's just more movement. When you live in a colder region, everything is not moving fast. Everything, you have things that have to hibernate. They can only do that at a certain time of the year. This is why the fastest teenagers on the planet or the fastest teenagers in America usually come from a southern region. They usually come from Texas and or Florida. Brumel was the fastest high schooler at one point, running a 9.99 and 100. So where is he from? He's from Florida. And now he runs a 9.6 or a 9.7. He's from Florida. There's just no mistake. So the same thing when it comes to Africans. Africans, and listen, these Africans are not running on paved roads. They're running in the dirt with no shoes. Nike actually has a camp in some of these African countries, and they just watch these kids run. They don't give them shoes. They just watch them run up mountains. Just to be doing it. You got these kids walk 10 miles just to go get a drink of water or just to go to school. You got, if you look at some of these war-torn countries like Rwanda, when Rwanda was ravaged by its own people, a lot of the children were left without parents. They had to walk from one village to another. Well, if you're walking from one village to another and you're a 10-year-old and a bunch of 10 and under year olds, and you're trying to find your ways from one village to another that's miles away, you're not even sure where it's at. Well, guess what? You become the lowest on the food chain. A lot of those kids died by being eaten by hyenas. Kid you not. They were eaten because of the predators that they had to cross into their country. So when you live in an environment like that, everything is moving fast. So that makes just our natural habitat faster. We're more alert. We're quicker off the jump because we have to. It's survival. Sorry. You have to be faster or you die. That's it. I mean, I've dated some African girls, and they've told me just the same stories. One girl was like, "Listen, one day me and my brother woke up, and there was a sound in our house we didn't recognize. Well, I went and looked over the balcony, and there were two hyenas in our house, just looking for food." Well, then when she told me this, she was a teenager. She's like 13, 14 years old. She said when this happened. She said all we could do was keep quiet. Because if they found her, they would have ate her. So it's real. And that's why we're faster than anyone else. And that's always going to be our case. We are powered by the sun. We're faster than anyone else. When you look at hand speed in boxing, just look at boxing. And when you look at the fastest boxers, you're going to see that they're all black. All of them. You just go and just look up who has the fastest hand speed. You're going to figure that they're all black. It just is. And no one can keep up with us when it comes to speed. Now, oh yeah, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard. I mean, now you have different anomalies in other races that have shown speed in different areas. But when it comes to leg speed, hand speed, we usually are the ones that are, on a whole, we're faster. Now, the Asians have some blinding hand speed too, but these are ones that practice martial arts. You know what I'm saying? So they can keep us up with us sometime at hand speed. But when it comes to boxing, not so much. I don't know any world champion Asian boxer. Well, there's one out, and I think he's like a cruiserweight or something like that. He's undefeated. But nonetheless, you just don't see a lot of them. Most of the time, you see world champions, they're black. And it's for a simple reason. It's because of our muscle structure. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, Manny Pacquiao, crazy speed, especially in his prime, crazy speed. But how many people are on his level? You can't name me 10 boxers that come out of his country and have made it to the big time like him. You can't name 10. You struggle to name 5. You struggle to name 5. Pick any other country, and they're going to be known for something else. Because if you go like to the Gypsy King, okay, yeah, he's beating the hell out of the Bronze Bomber, but he didn't do it because of speed. You know what I'm saying? So you can pick other people in other countries, like the strongest people on a planet usually come from some type of Nordic country, Zurich, something like that. And they're huge, you know what I'm saying? Big old Viking size, just big brolic, and they can pick up ridiculous amounts of weight. Black people, some black people have entered into that, but the majority of the time, you don't see a lot of black people enter the strongman competition. As a matter of fact, I've only seen one that entered the strongman competition. That's just not our thing. We can't keep up with them. It's just not what we do. But we can literally run circles around you. Just think if black people did not play basketball. I mean, just imagine that. No, they're not too poor. They're not too poor. Just think if black people didn't play basketball, how boring basketball would be. And you know it would be boring because you can't tell me one other country where you watch basketball constantly. Go ahead, pick a country and name all the starting 5. You don't know because it's boring. It's boring. And you won't watch it because they'll bore you to death. Yeah, maybe the starting five of the Croatian basketball team. Listen, they may be good, but it's boring. There's no black people there. Black people bring the swag. They bring the flair. They jump higher than anyone. Just imagine if there were no black people playing in college or pro football. Would you still watch it? Would you still watch it? You know you wouldn't. If Deion Sanders wasn't playing, listen, there were whole stadiums built for one player. I mean, Michael Vick, there was a stadium built for Michael Vick. That's how great he was. Just drink that in. Just try to absorb that. Try to suck that in. I don't think there's one white quarterback in the league. Thinking BB, and now his son plays. But you know why BB was famous? Because he was fast. But I mean, just drink that in. If all the black players dipped, we're like, you know what, we're finished. Out of both those major sports, would you watch it? There's a good chance you wouldn't, because LeBron James is an anomaly. He is an anomaly. You can say what you want about LeBron James, but he is an anomaly. He is a credit to his species. Are 99% black? Listen, LeBron James has been playing since he was 17. He's what, 35 now or something like that? How many times has he been injured? Just think about that. LeBron James is a whole case study. How many times has LeBron James been injured? But just think about that. His knees aren't gone. His back isn't going out. Some of your most famous players have left because of injuries. Kobe Bryant, injury. Michael Jordan, injury. Yeah, he's only been hurt once. Michael Jordan, injury. Most famous, just look at him. Shaq Diesel, injury. Their knees go out, can't play no more. LeBron James has been playing longer than anybody that I know of. Anyone. Even other prodigies who came in at 17. Just think about that. He's a whole case study. How's he able to do it? He's not dodging games. He's actively playing. How? Yeah, these are all tests that they're doing on us. They want to know how and why. They want to know how we can do the things we can do. I'm just saying this is why a lot of people are missing. And it's not all for these, sexual reasons. A lot of it is because they're studying us. They want to know why we are. They want to know how we can do these things. And listen, you got some people who are on TikTok. And I'm going to tell you something. You got some people who are doing some stuff on TikTok. And it's going to bring more attention to black people, and it's going to be more dangerous for us. There's a couple guys who are on TikTok moving water, and another guy was moving an object. This is a bad thing. This is a bad, bad, bad thing. Because if you show that you can actually move water, it's going to start off as entertaining. That's the way it's going to be perceived. You're going to be watched. It's going to be looked at as, oh, that's entertaining. That's cute. How'd you do that? That's what they're going to start asking. And then they're going to find out where you're at, and they're going to ask you to do it. You're going to have cameras on you. You're going to have cameras on you, and they're going to be like, show us how you did that. Yeah, they're going to be like, show us how you did that. And you're going to think, oh, you finally made it. Oh, you know, people are interested in you. You're known for something. It would be best if you don't show them how you did it. Or you tell them that it was a lie. Oh, it was a trick of camera. But if you go, oh, this is how I did it. If you go out and you actually move water, and you use your chi to move that water, you are now a problem. Because if you can move water, what else can you move? How can you influence the human mind? Can you move? Can you move something through walls? Can you break out of jail? Can you harm a police officer? Can you stop a bullet? Can you free somebody from jail? Can you harm a white child? What else can you do with this? And they're going to ask you that. Well, what else can you do? Right now, you're being targeted. It's not good to show off everything that you can do. It's just not good. Because then they're going to target other people who look like you. And they're going to experiment on them, even though that person may have no clue on how this is done. And they're going to dissect people, trying to figure out what it is that makes a person be able to do any of the things that they saw somebody else in your race do. And they're going to think all of you can do it. Because just imagine if you had a whole class society of black people who all had special abilities to move objects. And only black people could do it. Just imagine if black people could stop a bullet with a thought. Or can break down a brick wall, or can astro project their body into a form that is tangible and can do stuff, and they're not even there. Their body is in the house. They astro projected to McDonald's, bought themselves some McDonald's, and came back and ate the McDonald's. Or worse, they got Burger King. I mean, just think, if you have black people that can do this, there would be a mass calling of black people. The government would start killing us in an alarming rate. Out of pure fear. Out of pure fear. This is why, some of the things that people are showing off on TikTok is a dangerous thing. And I understand the excitement that you're finding out that you're doing some of the things that your ancestors could do. And, you're finding out that these gifts are dormant in all of us. And, we're able to do these things, but these are the reasons why these things were hidden from us. These are the things why your history was taken from you. Listen, your history wasn't taken from you just so you didn't know what tribe you came from. No, your history was taken from you is because there have been several civilizations, several, several civilizations that have come and gone. And the technology was not all buildings and moving vehicles. The technology was in your higher self. The technology was you. You were the person that were developed. You notice how there is a wave of bastardized technology now where they're trying to make your consciousness go into some type of, put it into some type of sleeve where you can live forever and all this. All they're trying to do is bastardize what we have done. If you look at the Bible and you look at how long Noah, how long Moses, Methuselah, and all of these people lived, you got to understand this wasn't this. This is less than 3,000 years ago. That's not that long when it comes to the earth. That's not that long at all. It's yesterday. That's yesterday. That's in between one civilization collapsing. I mean, that's not long at all. So you think that that information on how to live that long isn't out there? It's still there. And these were not a bunch of white guys. They were all black. They were all black. They were all black people. And they lived for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And their eyes failed them not. They didn't get old and gray and feeble-minded. They didn't do that. They got old, wise, strong, fast. A lot of this stuff that happened to them is mocked in some of the cartoons that you see. Some of these cartoons that you see are coming from our history books. And they're talking about the things that we used to do. And the reason why we don't do them now is because of the stuff that we're eating. We're being killed all the time. If anyone figures out any of this stuff, they kill them. You notice that black people have no leaders? Name me one black leader. Name me one black leader. We don't have any. Can't say Obama. You can't name me one black leader. Gone. If we knew the stuff that our Egyptian ancestors knew, and our Kemet ancestors knew, if we knew what the Kemets knew, if we knew what Mansa Musa knew, good chance we wouldn't be at this state. If we knew what the Israelites knew before they were taken over by the Romans, my people who are called by my name, when they turned their back on God, before they turned their back on God, they couldn't have been taken over by the Romans. They turned their back on God in the book of Deuteronomy and they paid for it. We are their descendants. There's no way the Romans could have came and took them. No way. The Romans came and took them because they were divided. Israel was divided into halves. They were divided. And that's what killed them. Then they were taken into slavery in more than one way. Then they were sold into slavery. The technology that has come out of Egypt is the same technology that's in the Grand Canyon. It's the same technology. How did we build buildings that can tell you exact measurements of the stars? And when you look on every continent, you're going to find pyramids, ziggurats. They were all built by the same people. All of them. There are ancient pyramids underwater. There are ancient pyramids here in America with statues of black people. So if you knew how to use their power, they would drop a nuclear bomb on you. If black people separated, if we separated here in America from white people and actually got rid of all the dangerous black people, because there are just some people who just can't. They're always going to destroy. And we got rid of them just like God did. You got rid of them. You separated. You feel like you want to destroy, you're over here. And we went and lived in whatever part of America. We had our own part. We would figure out how to do these things that our ancient Kemet brothers and sisters did. We would, because it would be natural to us. That's why every like Seneca Village and Black Wall Street and all these other towns that have popped up and they buried them under lakes, that's why they get rid of them. They are afraid of what our ancestors know. They're afraid if we figure out what our ancestors know, it's lights out. It's lights out for them. And we're not talking about all white people. We're talking about the supremacy of white people. We're not talking about all white, no. White people have a purpose like black people do, and every other race. But we're talking about the supremacy. It would be over. All this energy that we're using, we don't need to use this energy. This oil and stuff, there's free energy all over the planet. Electricity is free, but we pay for it. And as soon as you make something that makes free electricity, they come and shut you down. That's what they did to a guy who's out there in California on Figueroa. He's a homeless guy, black guy. He figured out how to make generators. He figured out how to make free electricity. And the police came and shut it down and took it from him. You can be homeless all you want, but you're not going to be out here doing that. He made sure that everybody had power. He's like, look, this is how you do it. Boom. So all them little tents out there. I mean, just think if you had people like that and you set them aside and left them alone. If you got all the dangerous people out of Africa, just out of Africa, all the dangerous people out of Africa, all the people who are destroying it, the Europeans, the Asians, get them all out, and then allow Africa to develop. I'm telling you, it's never going to happen because Africa would be way too powerful. There's so many people, there's so many minds. It's just so it would be lights out. So, just saying, you're a lot more powerful than what you think, but you're told that you're nothing. You're told by this society that you're nothing, but you are way more than they could ever imagine. And you have to keep your abilities under wrap or they come and take you away from this planet. Well, one of these days that's going to change. One of these days they're going to, there's an ability that's going to pop up and God is not going to allow you to be snuffed out And he's not going to allow other people to be punished because of what you know. It's not going to happen. I mean, they took Dr. Sebi away from us because of his abilities, but Dr. Sebi did exactly what he was meant to do. He came, he spread the message, and now people are doing what he's saying, and it's working. So, yeah. Anyways, just wanted to get that out. It's good talking to you guys. I'm bored. But I enjoyed the conversation. I was going to go to the gym today, but I don't feel like it. I ain't been feeling like going to the gym. I need to work on my body some, but I just been chilling. Anyways, I'm out. Guys, take it easy. Thanks for stopping by. Peace.